All right, today we're going to work on 6.7 is that we get to solve division problems using the partial quotients algorithm. You're going to recognize this. This is a little bit of review. The reason we're doing this is because we're kind of using our multiplication skills to increase our division skills. We're continuing with that. We're building our number sense. Number sense means how numbers are related to one another. And we're using benchmark numbers. I guess we already did number set, right? But using those benchmark numbers, like benchmark numbers are, I guess the best way to explain it is like numbers I know when I get factors. Factors are the two numbers you multiply for multiplication to get to a benchmark um, product, right? So like I know tens very well when it comes to factors. Um, so it's easy for me to do like the something within a tens range 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I know fives very well 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? So those are good benchmark numbers for me. I know twos very well. So using those benchmark numbers to help you, okay? I just want to go back and define once again what a quotient is. A quotient is the answer to a division problem. So we're getting, just more practice with division. And lastly, well, I don't know, I guess not really lastly anything. So I want to look at number one. Let's do number one on page 206 together on this, okay? So number one says there are 184 plants to put into pots. Each pot can hold 8 plants. How many pots are needed? To me, when we're putting, when it says like each something can hold this, I immediately think of division. Um, what I see in my mind are, pots, all these pots, and each pot can hold 8 plants. So you can even start dividing like one, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. Kind of that old fashioned dividing, right? That we used to do, or across the way. Yeah, I need to do 184 marks. So that works when there's a small number to divide that up. Yeah, but in this case, yeah, exactly, it'll take forever. So to me, there's a better way to do this, okay? Did it say 184 plants, right? So there's 184 plants, and I want to divide that um, by what? By 8, right? So 184 divided by 8, I think oh, do we have to write an equation, right? So 184 divided by 8, we can write that equation right here. There's a couple of ways to write that equation, right? I think just a slash would work just fine. Or if you like, I like this, me personally, I like this symbol right here, right? So go ahead and write that equation. 184 divided by 8 equals P. Are you getting it, sir? Yeah, we'll go to that estimate in just a moment. 184 divided by 8. Yep, I chose P for pot, okay? Because I'm trying to find the amount of pots that I need. Are you getting this written down? I want to make sure we're getting it written down where it says a number model with the unknown. Remember, number model is another name for an equation or a number sentence. Okay. 184 divided by 8. 184 divided by 8. Okay. Does everybody have that down? How about what would be an estimate? What feels good for an estimate on this one? Anybody have one? Yes, sir. You have a good estimate here? Say that again? No? Go ahead. I like that. Okay. Thank you for using that word benchmark number. I do appreciate that. That's kind of easy for us in a way, right? And what is 180 divided by 10? Go ahead and finish that up. It's 18. We're going to come awfully close to 18 on this one. Okay. Perhaps. Perhaps. Let's find out. Okay. So go ahead and get that estimate down. I like that as an estimate. I might have also chosen 180 divided by 9 because I know 9 has this relationship to 18. Would have turned out to be 20, which is close as well. So is everybody good with that estimate? All right, let's set this up then. So I want to get rid of this. With partial quotients, I think when I hear partial, right, it means parts, right? So what I'm doing is I'm pulling the number that I'm dividing into different parts is the big deal. Can everybody see the numbers okay with that? We can generally, okay. Okay. I just want to make sure I have enough room here. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this 184 and I want to pull it into some different parts that make more sense to me, I guess, is how I feel about it. So I think a good way to look at this when I'm pulling it into parts, they have to do with this number 8, right? So I want to go to a benchmark. What's a good benchmark that you're feeling? Yes, I like 80. I want to make this a lot easier on myself. I could do 80. Do you have another one in mind? I like 160. Tell me why 160. Anybody besides who just told me? Tell me why 160 would be a good one. Yes, sir, in the blue. Yeah, 8. That's right. 8 has this relationship that we know of with 18 or 16 already. So we do know that, 8 times 2 is 16, but then place that 0 at the end. It turns out to be 8 times 20 is 16, as was explained there, right? So my 20 is going to go on the outside here. Okay. And is everybody writing this down? If you're not writing this down, you should be writing this right here down. Okay. So now I know that 8 times 20 is 160. That's that sweet benchmark number that we just came up with that I really liked, right? Okay. And what I'm doing with that is I'm pulling 184 into a couple of different parts. One of them is 160. And if I subtract 160 away from 184, I'm going to come up with 24. Okay. And so this is why I've shown that I have 160 and 24. What I've essentially done is I've divided 160 by 8. 160 divided by 8 is 20 because I know that 8 times 20 is 160. So what I have left over, or remainder, we could even say at this point, is 24. Okay. What's your thought? So I have that 24 left over, right? I know that there's a relationship or so does she, that there's a relationship between 8 and 24. If you were to look in your multiplication chart, you'll see that 8 times 3 is 24, right? So we know that 24, what's left over that we're dividing here, that 24 divided by 3 is 8, or 24 divided by 8 is 3. That would be another way to say it. And that's real even since I was using that 24. What was left is I was taking the 24 out of the 24 to make sure, what else do I have to divide? Do I have to divide anything else here? No, there's nothing left over. So there's no remainder to be divided, right? 24 minus 24 is 0, so there's nothing to be divided again, right? So I've divided, out of that 184, I divided the 160 by 8, and I divided the 24 by 8. Means I've taken care of everything there. So what is left over, the quotients, are these numbers that are kind of off to the side. And the best thing to do is add those two quotients together. In fact, I want to move this over just a little bit so I can fit that in and make sure that my place values are lined up. So I want to add those two quotients together. And what is 184 divided by 8? What did it turn out to be here? Yes, it is 23. Okay. And by the way, when we write the answers to a division problem, the quotients, we usually write it on the top of that little box there. Okay. And did we have any plants left over? That means, what do we have 23 of in this case then? We have 23 pots, and each one has 8 flowers in it, right? And there's no extra flowers left over to put into the pots. So no remainder, right? Um, Excellent. So you're going to work on the rest of 206 and 207 and finish 208 today. It was 6.7. We're getting to solve division problems using that partial quotients algorithm. Quotient being the answer to a division problem, and partial meaning that we're pulling the number that we're dividing into different parts so that we can more easily work with them. Oh, was our estimate awfully close? It was pretty close. Yeah, it wasn't totally off, but 18 is close to 23. I I just here's an idea as well, just to give you a thought about quotients, is the higher the number that you're dividing by, the lower your quotient is going to be. So like if I divide 180 divided by 10, that number is going down to 18, right? If I divide 180 divided by 20, it's going to be 9. That's right.